All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. Africans deal with racism, the hypocrisy. Um, so everybody knows about Russia invading Ukraine at the moment. And there was a thing where the Ukrainians put the Africans on the back burner. Like, listen, we're gonna get evacuate Ukrainians first, and you on your own, basically. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, if y'all don't know who that is. He did a video recently today where he was talking about one of the Africans in like a group chat, I want to say, was like, I don't blame Ukraine, I blame the African government, because their embassy should be able to look out for the citizens of of those countries where those people come from, or band together and just charter a jet or something, in a sense, to get them from Ukraine to either home or a neutral site where they can continue what they're doing in their studies. And I'm trying to be very mindful and respectful of what's going on, because they have the whole thing with Tariq Nasheed and the Africans going back and forth during this time period. But part of the hypocrisy is this: as a Black American or African American from America, not from Africa, you know what I'm saying? FBA, ADOS, however you want to call it. Part of the riff is, and I just say it online, right? Because people will say that they don't see this in their real life, but I could beg to differ, but that's a whole nother story. Is these are the type of scenarios that somebody who's not a Black American will say, if it happens to a Black American, this is because of how you people act, and this is because of your culture, and you walk around and you sag your pants and you listen to rap, so basically you're deserving of this treatment. And this is why they have the old hold your own type of phrase or statement for people, like, not this on you now, because what people play on the, if it happens to you, you need to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. So what? Life is unfair. Things happen to people all the time. You need to stop acting weak. But when it happens to another group, like it's happening to Africans in Ukraine, then all of a sudden it becomes, you see how racism works? Issue. Like, they're doing us wrong. This is not fair. And is it fair? It's a yes and a no. Because, like, I would agree with O'Shea. Like, if you're in the Ukraine, they're gonna look out for Ukrainians first. Now, just because that's their home country, that's their homeland, they're losing the most, because it may be their houses and family members getting shot and blown up immediately because they're Ukrainian. You're not. You're African, so you're going to stick out like a sore thumb for not being Ukrainian. Now, that may make you a target for Russians. That may be true. But they're not going to look at you as Ukrainians first. You might be collateral damage. I ain't even going to lie. But at the same token, on a human level, no, man, hey, let's just help everybody, first come, first serve. Yeah, but now you're seeing that even in a time of war, quote unquote, racism exists. But the problem with that is like what I was talking about a minute ago. Like, people will go, well, your country knew this was about to go down. Why didn't they do anything? And the thing about, Black Americans is like, y'all give us the finger for less. Somebody called you an African booty scratcher at 12, and all of a sudden, F us for life. But when these things happen, it's, oh my God. And we're like, under this scenario, you'll give us the what about Chicago speech and the black on black crime speech and dealing drugs, and you don't respect yourselves. But what I'm trying to point out is, we're really not doing that to y'all, and we really don't do that to y'all. When Africans wind up in these situations, we don't go, well, what about the homelessness in your country? Like, that's what you're getting from the arguments with the Tariq Nasheed. So, well, since we're gonna play in the mud, let's get all the way in the mud. You get what I'm saying? So what some of you folks are getting offended by is Black Americans doing to you what you do to Black Americans on a regular basis. And these scenarios and situations put it out there. Because now people are like, hey man, you got poverty in your country, and you got bad leadership in your country, and you got homelessness, and you got fatherlessness, or orphans running around, and you don't have running water. So now the people who went from Africa to any other part of the globe to better themselves and better their lives, y'all deserve it. Yeah, you got treated like this in Ukraine, but y'all deserve it. That's how it could, it's that. And the unfairness of hearing that, like, man, you pretty low for believing that, which I believe is true. Somebody will be pretty low for doing that. But it's one of those scenarios where I just want you to know how you treat me in the same scenario. And you have no problem treating me that way. You have no problem talking to me in that sense. Even when you're in this country benefiting off of things that people like myself have done in this country to get you here and to get you prosperous in this country. So when that's happening to whether it's in Africa, when people from other countries come and do you wrong in Africa, or you people in China, like when the coronavirus hit, or the Ukraine situation, or even the situations in the UK, and the situations you see with the footballers or soccer players, as we call them, in Europe. It's like, I mean, should we say everybody deserves it just because? And you don't know who you are, and you don't know your culture, and you're not good enough you don't respect yourself enough for other people to respect you? No, that'd be wrong. But unfortunately, we try to take the high road. But if I was to just go off on a video and do that, I would just be mirroring what you do to us. And that's not just Africans. It's just, non-Black American people in general. But I'm just using this as a scenario. And because we're both Black, I just want you to, if you come across this video, I want you to understand that's part of what's happening in America. That's really the underlying animosity. So I try to keep it as respectful as possible, because I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm just trying to explain what's going on. So tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch you on the next one. Peace.